Well, happy Easter, SBC. It is a beautiful Easter morning, and the sun has risen. He has risen indeed. So we're out by the campfire. It is Ashley on the camera, Cassie doing whatever she pleases, and me out here in the chair. And we are enjoying this moment of remembering what Jesus means to us. Now, we're going to be over today in the Gospel of Luke. And there in that passage in Luke 24, we're going to see the difference that Jesus makes. See, a lot of times, even as Christians, we forget. We've been around Jesus for so long, we forget. We've been in church for so long, we forget. We get used to the idea of Jesus, and we forget the power that he carries. There on Easter morning, in chapter 24 and verse 1, it says, on the first day of the week, very early, the women took the spices they had prepared and went to the tomb. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. And while they were wondering about this, suddenly two men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. And in their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee? The Son of Man must be delivered over to the hands of sinners, be crucified, and on the third day rise again." And verse 8 says this, and this is the phrase I want you to catch. Then they remembered his words. Then they remembered his words. These women had been with Christ so long. They had been around Christ for so long. They had been in such close proximity to Christ for so long. And he had said precisely what it is that they watched unfold. He had said precisely what had occurred in those days that caused them such angst and such pain. And we as believers, we know what God has said. We know what God has promised. We know what God has assured us. And yet when the times come, when the darkness rolls in, when the suffering begins, when hardship comes, we forget what God has said. We forget what the promises are. And we don't realize that we are trying to live as dead men when he has given us new life. We are looking for some kind of living in the tomb when the truth is God is already out before us. He is already moving ahead of us, and life is pressing forward. I don't know what you've been through this year. I can guarantee you it's been different. I can guarantee you it's been hard, and I can guarantee you that you've gone through some times where I'm sure you've battled with depression or darkness. Don't forget what God has said. Don't forget what God has promised. Don't forget that we serve a living God. He is not here, the angel said. He has risen. Don't look for the living among the dead. Let the darkness be behind us, and let this new year and this new life that God has promised us be one where we engage and we are of the living. God bless you, SBC, on this beautiful Easter morning, and I hope and I pray that you will celebrate the resurrection this day.